Hello guys, welcome to another 1 Minute with Ivan. Today's topic, we're going to talk about QC. What's QC? Quality control. And we have a very special guest, our very own VP of Sales for 20 plus years, Mr. Allan. Hey!
Schollnick. Okay,
Schollnick.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. I didn't want to pronounce it so I didn't butcher your last name, but thank you for clarifying.
Thank you, Ivan. No problem. No problem.
All right, stick around. That's right, guys. Today's topic is about quality control. QC. What does that mean? We're going to get to know that in a very quick second. But before we get into that subject, why don't we get to know Allan a little bit? Allan, why don't you tell us about the maybe 3 or 4 top companies that you worked with in the past?
Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate that. Yes, I have experience of working with the Walt Disney Company, part of Disney Character Voices International. And then back in 95, God, I'm dating myself. Back in 95, I moved over to Turner Entertainment and was director of their international dubbing group, which we helped launch Cartoon Network in Latin America and in Asia. And then in late 97, I went over to DreamWorks as the technical head of international post-production, handling and dubbing all of their films, both animated and live action, worldwide. Films like Shrek went out in like 35 different languages.
That's amazing. Now, that being said, here at Box Studios, we take quality control is very important for us. So why don't you tell us from your point of view, and obviously all the experience that you have, what is for you the definition of quality control, your standards?
Quality control is, I'm going to start off by saying the initial idea of quality control is to take something that's very subjective to some degree, because it's a creative process that we're dealing with, and to make objective decisions about that. Whereas you're sitting in a room and you hear something go by, a click or a pop, and you then do some evaluation on it, and you find out it's something that is inherent in the track. Now you have to find out if it's something that a particular facility induced, or is it something that happened on set, things of that nature. In my background of dealing with quality control, you had multiple levels of it because I had to deal with picture, sound, track, everything. The fortunate thing we have about Vox is, you know, we're dealing primarily in the audio world and primarily in dialogue recording or vocal recording. So our game plan here, in most cases, is to make sure in a dubbed version of a film, we don't want that voice to be too far up front. That's part of a mixing process. And we don't want that voice to sound too muffled or tubby. Tubby is the word that everybody describes that tonality of it sounding kind of bassy or something like that. So the key to getting a good natural recording is to be in the right ambient atmosphere. Our rooms are all tuned a very particular way, so it doesn't matter which room you're in, they all sound the same. They all have the same basic background noise. It's very low, very stable. So that if you're in room 1 and then tomorrow you have to be in room 2, it's not going to change the dynamics. One of the things that we've noticed with the remote recording that's been going on these days is a difference in the ambient background noise. That requires a little bit more EQ, a little more editorial work to get it to match what might have been done in the studio, because everybody's home studio
is different.
It's not going to be the same as what we have here. The room we're in right now is isolated walls, floating floor. You can't hear, and it's got a very, very natural flat sound to it, so you get a very nice ambient sound to it.
Top of the line.
That kind of thing. So our job is to make sure that, from a quality control perspective, that we record things in a very natural way, which gives the mixer that ability to have a very, very neutral sound quality of that person's voice, so that they can then add the equalization, the effects, reverb, echo, that kind of thing, and the perspective. Like if we're 20 feet apart, but we sound like we're still 10 feet apart or 4 feet apart, that's not good. The idea is to make you sound like you're in the back corner over there. So we got to push your voice down a little bit, a couple dB, so that you sound like you're farther away. You don't want you sounding like you're not far away. So that whole perspective thing is something we have to really cater to. So our job in quality control is a couple things. Make sure that part, the recording is done right. The mixer does a first pass on it. It goes to QC. QC then comes back and says, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong.
And that's
or
what we
fix
call
it.
those famous retakes, right?
Or you might end up having the client come back and say, let's
True.
do some retakes,
Yeah.
okay, that kind of thing. Or QC catches that before it goes back to the client, and that's our game plan. And the other key is to make sure we internally don't ever induce a sound problem into those tracks.
Right, and that will be the
Whether it's
responsibility of the engineer, I'm assuming,
engineer,
right? Make
as
sure
well
the
as-
levels, everything is right.
Exactly, as well as quality control. But it's something that everybody should take a little initiative to make sure that they're doing the best that they can when they set up a room or set up anything, not just the engineer, but even the recordist, you know,
Right.
or even the director. If the director's sitting there and they start hearing some kind of little hum or buzz, they might want to say something.
Right.
So as you...
Before
as-
it gets to the mixer, then to
Exactly,
quality control, and then
exactly.
becomes a retake, right?
So we try to make sure that everything is done a very particular way, a very professional way, and then by the time it goes into the mix, there should be no problems that we can't fix, that
Great.
kind of thing. So that is fundamentally how Vox Studios handles that level of quality control. And every once in a while, there's something that slips through the cracks, and
Of
we
course.
try very hard.
We're human.
Yeah, but thank God, in most cases, it doesn't get to the customer.
Exactly, the most
and
important
that's the
part.
key, is we catch
Yes.
it internally.
Exactly.
And that's where quality control becomes very important. Some call it quality assurance. I like calling it quality control because you're subscribing by a control mechanism to
Right.
actually capture it. Assurance means you might have done a spot check, beginning,
Interesting.
middle, end. When you're manufacturing 1,000 widgets, like a pen,
Right.
you might be able to have a level of quality assurance there, but quality control means you're actually being very much finite from beginning to end of that particular piece of content.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for letting us into your world of quality
Not a
control.
problem.
I learned a lot just sitting with you in the last 5 minutes. I'm sure all the viewers as well. So there you have it, guys. Quality control. Make sure you check your work and check out our previous videos on our YouTube channel and on our social media. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks,
And
Ivan.
see you guys in the next one.